Let's talk about being applauded. It is this time a season. We all know it, okay? We know what you're doing right now.
Yeah.
And you will substitute.
What is that? Is that like what is that animal called when it's a half man, half animal? It's like a
Minotaur.
Minotaur.
Yeah.
Minotaur. Yeah.
Tripod.
That's exactly what I see myself as.
Sure.
Yeah. So, anyways,
Centaur.
yeah, you get it. Dan, there it is.
no.
That's another agent asking if they could join the Dan wagon. So you change that horse out though, like 3, 4, 5 times, and you ford the river.
Yep.
Every single time. You're like,
That's
nah,
right.
we're going for it. We're going for it. And then we've seen you week 11, week 12, one of these said horses that gets going. You're like, from the beginning. Is that what you're doing with Justin Fields right now? Because Michael Lombardi thinks you're putting way too much pressure on this Justin Fields guy with people hearing somebody who they respect, you, say like this guy could have an MVP season when there's a lot of people who are like, they're nowhere near that right now. What did you see that makes you believe that? And how many more people are we going to do that in this particular Dan Wagon season for?
Well, I've only said Justin for the whole off season, so I don't really think.
Well, yeah, but we're in.
Yeah, it starts
We're
now.
in the season.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
people paying attention.
NBA
Yeah, okay,
basketball
so,
happens before Christmas. They say.
What?
I would say this. One, I don't know Michael Lombardi, and I know he doesn't like me. I don't know why. I'll answer the
So
Justin
you
Fields
do
part
know
of
him.
it.
Yeah.
We don't know either, by the way. We love it.
I don't know him. No, I just know he doesn't like me. Okay, so I'll address the Justin thing and then why I think it's realistic to say it. Okay, so last year going into the season, you guys know this. I said it was the worst situation for a quarterback to be in the NFL. Bottom 5 offensive line and bottom 5 skill group. And it was as bleak as it could get. Then Justin goes and accounts for, in his first year with Luke Getsy's offense coordinator, he accounts for 25 touchdowns and over 3,000 yards. I think 17 throwing and 8 running. So given the situation and the support, he played good. Okay, so then we go and get DJ Moore, who up until last year had 3 1,000-yard seasons. So he's trending towards being a real number 1 wide receiver. They shore up the offensive line with Nate Davis, and they draft Darnell Wright. And people are saying Darnell Wright's going to be like a Tristan Wirfs type of impact at right tackle. So now we go, okay, offensive line has a chance to be top half in the NFL, and wide receiver group maybe has the chance to be, let's say, a top half, top 20 unit instead of being the worst. Okay, so is it unrealistic to sit there and say that coming off of a season where you accounted as a quarterback for like 3,200 yards and 25 touchdowns because of just the people that are better around you, a 25% increase? You know, so we're saying another 6 or 7 touchdowns that we account for, and maybe another 800 to 1,000 yards. So then that sits Justin right around like, I don't know, 32, 34 touchdowns and 4,000 yards. I would sit there and say that's MVP level football at quarterback. So that's the first part. Okay, that's the first part.
Ipso factoed with projectional
If it woulda, coulda.
potential upgrade numbers.
And if I were 25% increase in wins, be what? Go from 4 to 5 wins?
Yeah, that would be 25%.
I don't think, but I'll go back to this. Like, when was the last time we saw a team with a young quarterback that was really talented upgrade that talent around him and the kid not take a pretty decent jump? Like,
hey, we're on your
so
side. We think he's going to be better. I think what everybody's saying, though, is to say this guy's going to be MVP. He's just like...
No, I didn't say... No. He's not. I also said I don't think he wins MVP because I don't think the Bears will be good enough.
Whoa.
MVP level football. And I said this to you on the phone the other day.
Well,
like, if we were just... We have to stop thinking that there's only 3 or 4 quarterbacks that could win MVP. Realistically, and you guys disagree with me if you don't think, Josh Allen win MVP, yes or no? Can he?
Yes.
Realistically.
Yeah, we're called sure.
Okay, Aaron Rodgers.
We.
Yes. Lamar Jackson. Yes. Joe Burrow. Yes. Trevor Lawrence. Yes. Tua.
Trevor Lawrence, I don't
if
think.
he stays...
But
you don't think Trevor Lawrence could win MVP? Oh, I think Trevor Lawrence could win MVP.
Ridley, with what Calvin Ridley looks like he's in.
Holy shit.
But I think, like, last year was his hello, I'm Trevor Lawrence. This is kind of like the Justin Fields thing. I feel like to win MVP, like, you have to have, like, I think it's like
next level.
You know, like, because you're going to have to win over a lot of old fucks. You're going to have to see it.
Can he be in the? Can he be in that conversation?
I think so.
Could he play? Okay, Jalen Hurts.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Okay, Geno Smith?
No.
Maybe not. Probably not.
I'm not. Hey.
I ain't gonna say
Go
no.
win that, Gino. Go win that, Gino.
Okay.
But it's going to be tough, though, just because how people view him, I think. Like,
Dak
that's a big
Prescott?
part of it. The MVP voting is the humans are doing the voting.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean? So, like, you kind of got to play that game. But you're just saying MVP caliber style football.
Right.
And
Like in that conversation where you sit there and go, this guy won it. This guy's numbers are relatively close. Like in that and that's why I sit there and go, well, there's more than 4 or 5 guys that are going to play to a pretty darn good level. And depending on maybe they take a bigger jump than we expect. And then my last part with the Justin thing is this. This offense that Luke Getsy's play caller runs is the Mike Shanahan, Kyle Shanahan offense. We all know that takes quarterbacks and gets them to perform maybe better than their talent should allow it. We've all seen it. We see it we've seen it with Baker Mayfield. We see it with Jimmy Garoppolo. We saw it with Ryan Tannehill. We've seen it with Kirk Cousins. We've seen it with so many different quarterbacks. I would say that Justin's as talented as most of those guys, if not more physically talented. So if you take those quarterbacks that have been in that system and you put them in that second year of that system, on average, now it's not foolproof, on average, those quarterbacks go for like 4,100 yards and 32 touchdowns.
Woo!
Again,
Go Bears!
Wow.
Bear down!
Lock it in.
I don't think it's that outrageous. I don't think he wins it because
Dan's like,
of
I've
guys
said
that'll
much
play better.
more ridiculous shit.
Come on, Dan.
That is what Dan just said. Like, I have had much more ridiculous thoughts than this. And if we do think back, and we were actually on the team of, there was conversations because the Bears had the #1 overall pick last year.
Right.
Worst team in football.
Yes.
Very bad.
So bad at football.
Yeah, terrible.
Actually deemed the worst team. Like, hey, you know what? You guys actually need the first. You know what I mean?
But we
You guys
beat
need-
Belichick, though.
You guys need that.
You did.
You did. Great win.
Yeah, good one.
Great
Thank
win.
you.
by the way.
Solid.
But then there was a thought like, oh, you trade Justin Fields, draft Bryce Young.
Yeah.
And we were very much on the field. Like, what? Like, Justin Fields was the only positive
Thing.
to your team last
Right.
year. Like, you watch the game and you, like, watch Bears football. It's like, oh, they got a guy that can move. That guy can move. Seems to be electrifying. When he has the ball, he could score. But, boy, this team sucks. This team, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when they were talking about trading him to get somebody else, we were all very confused. Just saying that he's going to have that massive of a jump, I think puts expectations at a place that is seemingly going to be very difficult to get to, but I think Justin Fields feels the same way.
Yeah.
With DJ Moore, that interview they gave, they seem very relaxed. He's eating fish now, too.
that's right.
I mean, he got
That's
fish
right.
oils in the joints. I mean, now we're really starting to roll. I appreciate that.